without a great sharpener, you wouldn't have great hair cutters, period. Well, I'm really excited to be here. I mean, I actually, this weekend so far, I have learned probably more in the last couple of days than I probably learned in the last 5 years in my industry. So, working with sharpeners and giving you a perspective of how hairdressers view sharpeners is kind of what I feel that I can help you with today. So Jaguar shears, Robanda bringing on Jaguar really has excited me because I've been a hairdresser for 35 years. I have.
Just push that right button if you need to change the slide.
You're giving me something mechanical.
Okay, just tell me when you want to change the slide. We're good to go.
I'm just playing.
Yeah, you can put a pair of scissors in my hand, you can put a color brush in my hand, but you put anything mechanical in my hand except the car key, and we're in trouble. So, but I've been doing this about 35 years. I started out when I was 18. By chance, I was selling beauty products to salons, and I happened to run into a salon in California that I just fell in love with. And I was so fearless, and when you're young and 18, you just go, and you don't care, right? So unbeknownst to me, it was a very famous salon because I kept on seeing like Pat Benatar, and this is telling you my age. Pat Benatar, Billy Idol, Prince, all those kind of celebrities were going in there and getting their hair done. So I had no inkling of becoming a hairdresser, but after about 6 months of going into the salon in and out, and they didn't buy a single thing, but I loved going in there. A man named John Sebastian walked around the corner. He said, "William," in a very thick Italian accent. He says, "I'm never going to buy anything from you. All those products are mine. But if you go to beauty school, I'll give you a job." So 9 months later, I was divorced and sweeping hair and shampooing heads. So that became my career. So I love it. I've been doing it forever. Fortunately for me, I was put into a situation to where I was groomed to do platform. I was groomed to do television. So over the last 30 years, I've done a television show. I've done the Oscars, the Grammys, the billboards, a few movies. I'm not that big of a bragger. But I moved to Las Vegas in 1997.
Just go ahead and brag. Tell us.
Well, but I mean, I just love this industry, and I've had, when Sebastian sold in 1987, we all kind of scattered. So I went to an artistic center in Denver, thinking that it would kind of get me out of trouble because I was kind of crazy and a little wild in LA. I found out that Aspen was a little bit more wilder. So I wound up in Denver and Colorado Springs owning salons. And then in '97 I moved to Vegas and was introduced to a whole different world. So I was very fortunate to be able to do a lot of different celebrities. I mean, the last NSYNC tour, my name and picture is thanked in the tour magazine because we used to close down the salon and do all the guys from NSYNC. We've had anywhere from Pink to Gwen, Stefani to, I mean, anytime you're working in the award shows and you're in Las Vegas, you just, if you're in the right place at the right time and okay at doing your job, you kind of get thrown into it. So I think a little bit of this is luck and a little bit is talent. But what's the guy that used to own Wendy's? He says, the harder you work, the luckier you get. So falling in with Robanda and becoming their creative artistic director for all their brands. I'm really excited about the shear department with Jaguar. So you guys all know that German technology and Japanese technology, two different technologies, right? So about 15 years ago, the German technology kind of collided with the Japanese technology, so that's why now you see a lot of the German technology, they have bevels. They're beveling and they're hollowing out instead of just doing the straight cutting on the ride line. So it gives Jaguar's going to give you an option so that you will have some people that just automatically gravitate to a Jaguar and somebody that will automatically gravitate to another shear. For me as a hairdresser, what's the hardest thing for you guys to do when you get into when you're trying to get into a salon? Getting past the bulldog, right? So I have a couple of ways of getting past the bulldog. The best way to get to me, because that bulldog is there for me. because I work in Las Vegas and I oversee 8 salons. We're going to have 15 by the end of the year. There's 1,100 hairdressers that are independent contractors. So my job is to make sure each salon has education going on each week. So the best way for a sharpener or an expert in shears to get into my world is to make an appointment with me instead of coming into the salon every week and saying I sell scissors and I sharpen scissors, and you're talking to a concierge or a receptionist that might be a part-time hairdresser that as soon as you walk out your card goes in the trash can, is to say who is setting up your education, who is the guy or the girl that I need to talk to, because I have a unique product, but I just need about 15 minutes of your time, because I would love to come in and teach the salon about the anatomy and the evolution of shears. And 9 times out of 10, because I'm setting up education, you are a source for me. So now I'm going to sit down and talk with you, and then I'll set you up 45 minutes in every one of my salons. That education is taken care of for you. And then you're going to be allowed to set up your area, and you'll be able to sell your shears. So that's just one way of getting past a bulldog in the front of the salon. Ask to give them education, more so than sharpening, more so than selling a scissor. Because every hairdresser right now is looking for education, education, education. And another trick is you guys sell to barbers, right? Every hairdresser right now, I'm putting together programs for Jaguar and for Robanda's other brands on how to tweak a presentation, because all the hairdressers want to learn how to do barbering techniques. So if you can go into a salon and say, I've got a presentation and some things that I can show you on how to do some barbering techniques, I guarantee you they'll let you in the door. You'll be able to get in the door and have some time with their stylists. You know, and it might take you a month to get in, but it's better than going by there once a week and handing them off a card, and you're not going to get past the door. So offer them education, and especially in this time in our industry, I am being sent all over trying to teach hairdressers that are not going to be a barber, but they want to know how to do a fade. They want a 7-inch shear. They want a 7-inch thinning shear that'll allow them to blend from the worst man's haircut ever that a barber can do in 5 to 8 minutes. So that's just one of the things that I really would like to, to offer up on you guys, on especially the newer sharpeners on how to get into a salon. Building a clientele is like building a clientele for me. It's all word of mouth. So you just get in there and get one person, that's sharpening for you, that's me, that's a ringleader, my whole team will start using you. So you want the ringleader. So Jaguar, again, like I said, we brought over distributorship for all the United States, actually all of North America, all the way down. There's 4 different categories. We've got our pre-style, we've got our white line, we've got our silver line, and we've got our gold line. I think that if you can get into a salon and do your sharpening and your showmanship in the salon, it's better than if you can, especially in my salon, because every time that a sharpener comes in, the salon that I work in is 49,000 square feet. The smallest salon we have is 30,000 square feet. So you literally can come to my salon and you can drop off your car, have it detailed, you can drop your dry cleaning off, you can drop your dog off and have them taken to your favorite groomer. You're in Las Vegas, remember, anything is possible. Just as long as you've got that gold American Express at the end of the day and we can swipe it and it clears, we'll do anything for you. So when you come into my salon as a sharpener, and I don't tag you guys as sharpeners, I call you my shear experts. Because so many of the hairdressers have complained to me about, if you don't have somebody consistent, you wind up giving them a 6-inch pair of shear, and they come back in, and they got a 5.5-inch pair of scissors.
Well, technical, but yeah, I got it.
Got it. So we have our 4 different categories. The pre-style, of course, is our least expensive, and that would be something that I honestly, I'm going to be very upfront with you guys, that's something I'd walk into my school for. That would be something I'd walk into my first year hairdressers with that they can afford. And again, you see we've got the offsets, we've got the 5.5, we've got the 6-inch, and also with the thinners we have the 5.5-inch, and we have the fine teeth thinners. And when you move up to the next level, the white series, you're going to find that you have a little bit more coarse thinner. So you guys all know that the coarse thinner is the teeth are wider, further apart, and the fine thinners are closer together. Fine thinners are going to take more hair. Coarse thinners are going to take less hair. Easy enough?
Those, that's more into, I see a lot of those in barbers.
I was going to say, the white line you're going to find your barbers are going to love. Because there should be a 7-inch shear, the silver ice, and I actually have a demo of the 7. This one is also great for barbering, and we also have coming the 7-inch thinner that will go with this.
No, we have the 7-inch then.
You have the 7-inch,
Yeah.
so you already got it. You already
Yeah, we've got it.
So the white line, when you think white line, think barber. Because we all know barbers are not going to spend $1,000 for a pair of scissors, period. You know, they're a little bit more practical. And then also, I have a little thing that I like to talk about. I have a child. He is 14 years old now. His name is Gucci, and he's a Shih Tzu. So, my child, if any of you are doing grooming, the white line is a line that would be great for grooming also. But as I spend $50 for my dog's haircut, and I searched around Las Vegas, and finally I found a groomer that I love. Her name is Bonika, and ironically, and I'm not trying to be pissy, but the name of the groomer is called Snooty Pets. But where else are you going to take a dog named Gucci to, right? So for those of you that are doing dog grooming or any kind of animal grooming, the white line along with barbering is really going to help you. So if you want to go to series for barbering or grooming, go to your white line. Okay. I'm going to pass these around so you guys can feel of them. Cut your neighbor's hair.
One thing, let me point out that's confusing. That 7-inch white line is the silver ice series. Don't confuse it with the silver line.
Right. It's just called, it's in the white line, but it's called silver ice.
Yeah.
And most of the barbers and the groomers that I've talked to, they like the 7-inch and even larger.
They do. I saw a lot of those. I saw a lot of those.
Yeah. So I mean, I think.
said that. That's the one I see in the barbershop.
Yeah, and Jaguar's been around so long for a long time, and some of your barbers that have been doing hair for 20 years or so, you walk in with Jaguar, they're gonna probably go, oh my gosh, that was the one I started out with. I love it, and I haven't been able to get it. Well, now it's been evolved. And it's not the same Jaguar that was 20 years ago, because now we have, it's a hollow grind, so it's not the same as it was back in 1950 or 60, because the collision of Japanese technology, German technology, has kind of came together. So you're going to get a good pair of shears at a reasonable price, and there's not going to be sticker shock. But walking into a barber or a groomer, I would go immediately to my white line. And it's pretty much an easy sell. And the next level up in our Jaguar, this is where you're going to start moving into, I would say, your B and C salons. And I don't want to make that sound good or bad. I don't register salons by how talented they are. A B or C salon is how much they buy from me. They can be the greatest haircutters in the world, but if they only spend $1 a month from me, they're considered a C salon. Not by talent, by dollar amount. So when I say B or C salon, I'm talking about how much money they spend with me, or how many for you guys how many sharpenings I get out of it. So that silver line, and then this is one of my favorites. And this is the cut that I'm going to actually, the scissor that I'm actually going to be, that I'm partial to, is my CJ +6 in the silver line, and these jump up to about $200.
I think so. They should have a price sheet down on them.
So, they just finished the price list for me, so they were back and forth, what is it?
240, 250.
$240, $250. So that's a reasonably priced, great pair of shears in the silver line. And we've got the gold line. Now you're jumping up to your premium. This is your, if you want to compare, I would say my Freestyle is my Kia. My gold line is my BMW. So, and then anywhere in between, wherever you're at in your career, that's what you can afford, and that's the level of what you want. I personally, if I spend $400 or $300 for a pair of scissors, I let my client know that they're being cut with a $300 or $400 pair of scissors. Of course, I've got a $1,000 pair of scissors. Been doing this for 35 years, and I am a scissor.
Say it.
Can I say it?
Say it.
I am a scissor whore. I love scissors. If you walk into a salon, you see a cutter, and you're just observing, and they push their thumb all the way through their thumb ring, you know that no one's taught them properly how to use those scissors, right? So as a scissor expert, that's where you automatically are going to be able to get in there and get some education to them. Are you going to be able to change that person's smooth cut hair like that for 35 years? Absolutely not. Trust me, I have done hands-on classes with 40 people my whole career, and I can't teach them that this is how you cut. Only one blade moves. But you also know if you've got somebody pushing that through, now when you go to sharpen that, you know what you got to do to make them think that it's sharp, because they've now just shifted the whole balance of that shear. And then also all of our shears have, and I've learned this terminology this weekend, is a flat screw. When you shift from the white line, from the pre-style line for beauty school students, and the white line to the silver and to the gold, you're going to get, it's still a flat screw, but they're going to give you a key. Okay, so because it's a little bit more precision, so you get the key to work with the flat screw. Okay, I personally like the key entry flat screw over the adjustable. That's just me.
We call it UFO.
UFOs,
The tool looks like a UFO.
unidentified freaking object.
Yeah, but it's actually it's I think most of the places call it tamper resistant screw or something.
Well, that's the thing, is that it's not going to shift on you.
UFO's easier to remember.
UFOs, and I'm going to steal that from you.
You can just go right ahead.
I have to say, Bonnie really stepped in and helped with this. Because, I mean, it tells you exactly what you're dealing with. It tells you exactly what degrees you're going to be sharpening with. And
I'm not totally sure what the integrated and semi-integrated means, to be honest with you. I will find out.
I do know what that means.
Okay.
It's where it is slightly, it's slightly serrated.
Okay.
And semi-serrated and no serrated. So one blade, of course, is going to be serrated, one's not. So that's just so on those
If
shears.
they're integrated, there's not a serration on that black line that I've seen.
No, not on the black
Gold,
line.
okay.
Not
So
on
it
the
has
black line.
beveled, serrated, and polished.
Right.
Those are serrated, has beveled, then has semi-integrated, which means it does have a little serration.
Right.
But integrated, I guess, means no bevel.
No bevel.
I mean, no serration.
No serrated, no serration.
Okay, all right.
And
so I
that's
gotta-
just to keep hair from being pushed. You guys know
Yeah.
that, right? Back when the barbering and the cosmetology was was separated, they had their own terminology. So, even today, you've got to get a barber license or a Cosmo license. So Cosmo uses, the cosmetologist uses serrated, barbers use corrugated. It's just their own terminology. I feel that there's a couple of lines of scissors out there that have allowed us a huge window to charge more for sharpening and to charge more for shears. So you got those companies out there that have been selling scissors for $1,200, $11, $12, $13, $1,400 for the last couple, 3 years, and just be out there grinding and beating up people and making them sign a contract on a second mortgage so they can get those pair of scissors, right? Well, we can go in now, we can sell them a great pair of scissors for $300 or $400, and they don't have to take out a second mortgage, and it'll cut just as good as what they purchased before. My biggest thing is I never say anything negative about another pair of scissors. I always say, why are you looking for another pair of scissors? Well, I thought you loved those. And I do, but I'm always looking for another pair of scissors. So I always try to do a blind test. I was like, hand me your scissors. Now I'm going to mix these up. Now close your eyes and pick up my scissor and pick up your scissors. See if you can tell me the difference. 9 times out of 10, the hairdresser is not as smart as you. Doesn't know that one makes a sound, one doesn't make a sound. They're just going to feel the way that I learned the terminology this weekend. The ride line comes down and collapses against each other. So if you're ever in a situation with a hairdresser like me, say, William, I'm going to put 3 pairs of scissors. Give me your $1,000 scissors that you're trying to have me offer you in comparison, but I want you to close your eyes, and I'm going to mix them all up. Now tell me which one you have in your hand. I will guarantee you that they, 9 times out of 10, they will not pick the one that they paid $1,000 for. So that's just another little quick trick that you can do. So for Jaguar, I think that we've covered all of our bases between our pre-style and our white line and our silver line and our gold line, so that you can walk into a salon or a groomer with confidence and know that we've got all your bases covered.
This will be a silly question, but what's the other degree you have down there, the HRC? What is that?
Rockwell Harvest.
Rockwell Harvest.
Oh,
Rockwell.
I got you.
HRC.
Oh, okay, got it.
It's Rockwell Harvest. And you notice they call their screw their smart spin screw, so that's their name. Yeah.
Yes. So I just like it because it doesn't allow me to mess it up.
So use one of those.
I've been using, we've brought in Jaguar, and I've been using them now for about 3-4 months, and I use them on mannequins, I use them on, everything, and I find that they're holding the edge pretty good, especially my silver line, and especially
Well, we can tell you, William, and you sharpeners tell me if you agree, this will be helpful to you other places. Those Jaguars last a long time, don't they?
Yeah.
I mean, they're workhorses. They'll last, years, decades.
I've got some I've been sharpening on river. I've got a few customers like Jaguar that I've been sharpening for 20 years for.
Seriously?
Yeah.
And they haven't sharpened about every 3 to 4 months.
Wow.
So they do.
And there's still scissor left.
Still scissors left. Oh, yes.
Well, that's because you're a great sharpener too.
Well, it's not, it's also their great shear. And the biggest thing is, it's a stylist shear.
Yeah.
And terrible, you're not gonna last.
Right.
It's your biggest shear.
So we can confirm to you, that's something you can take back from us as sharpeners. We know they're well made because they last and we've been sharpening them for years.
That's really
That's
good.
why we as Bonika, when Jaguar approached us, we said, I know Jaguar, those are good shears.
And when you're out there and you're running into people, they're like, oh, I used to have Jaguar. Let them know that the Jaguars of today the quality is still there, but the technology's evolved some. So you still have the 2019 technology with the quality of the last 80 years that Jaguar has always provided. So with that, I think that we pretty much covered.
We're going to go through this one quick. That's terminologies that they use are not what we use as sharpeners.
Yeah. So and then once we have one thing, you guys all, I mean, you all know the anatomy of the scissor. I mean, some of these terminologies, they don't translate, so. You know, when you're dealing with a hairdresser, I mean, again, they're gonna go by the feel. They're gonna go by the feel, and you're gonna show them, you know, how they should look at a scissor this way instead of always looking at it this way. You know, I mean, I was taught by a sharpener this weekend. Sometimes you want to look at the scissor this way to see if you can see light through it. What does that tell you? Is that good or bad? You know, I didn't know the answer until this weekend. And I've been doing hair for 35 years.
Share the answer.
You know, it's good. So I have a beautiful assistant that has decided that she would love to have her hair done. So I have talked in and brought in a model from Las Vegas, Nevada. Her name is Bonnie McGowan. So I'm gonna have Bonnie just have a seat right here. But I mean, I think that honestly, I mean, I am excited to be, is that too tight?
No.
I'm excited to be here because this is honestly, after 35 years, the first time that I've ever been in front of scissor experts and sharpeners. I've always been in front of hairdressers. I've always had, you know, barbers and things like this, but to see the wizard behind the curtain is kind of cool, you know, because you guys, trust me, I know how crazy we are. So I know, as I always say as I'm doing a hair program, I'm going to pretend this is the back room of the salon where we talk about the clients out front, and we really talk smack. So I know you guys get together and go, you won't believe this hairdresser already. See this bottle? Smart. Trust me, I have been this bottle sometimes. So I mean, it's exciting to be able to work with the people that I trust with my livelihood. I mean, because this is a client, so when I have a client in my chair, I mean, I just look them right in the face and I say, Bonnie, this is the deal. This is my hair now, it's not yours. You touch it, you die. You know, I don't care if you need your bangs trimmed, I don't need any help. If you see an arm fall off of me, you can go ahead and cut your own hair, but until both arms are on my body, this is my hair. So I don't even charge for bang trims. Just call and make sure I'm here, because the last thing I want to do is run into you in the grocery store and you look like Mrs. Spock.
How did you know I trimmed my own bangs?
Because you sell scissors. So, you know, that's just kind of the way that I look at my sharpeners. I mean, and I was talking with Bonnie and Jean, and I am in control of sharpeners in Las Vegas. And like I said, we're going to have 15 salons nationwide here in about a year. We have 8 right now.
You control styles, not sharpeners.
Oh.
Nobody controls sharpeners.
Nobody controls. I don't control them either. Hairdressers are crazy. You know, I mean, huh?
You think?
I know we are. I mean, we are just great people to hang out with. Basically, pretty loyal. If the loyalty is given to them, but I mean, like with you guys, sharpening. I mean, it's like me dealing with a client. When I hand over my scissors to somebody, I'm like, you know. It's like giving handing over one of my kidneys for you guys to hang on to for a while. So there's plenty of room. Like for hairdressing, there's plenty of room for great sharpeners out there. Let me grab my comb. All right, so the whole point of this is that the evolution of you guys know why hairdressers are wanting longer scissors now? Do you know where that came from and why the whole point of that, just the evolution over the last 10, 15 years? Because when Sassoon started out in the 60s, how long was the scissor? That's because we were taught to take and cut a section that big, 4,000 of them all over the head.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
as we learned the laws and the rules of cutting hair, sections became bigger, quadrants became zones, zones became sections, became my front 20% of the hair. Yes, thank you. So how we do hair now, especially for natural fall, because I do a lot of dry cutting. So if you're seeing a client, if you're seeing a hairdresser that's taking bigger sections, they're going to automatically want a bigger shear. So I always work by the natural fall of the hair, and that determines what kind of shear I use. So if you see somebody that's trying to find out where the hair lives, I'm going to use Bonnie's ear. It's going to tell me that this hair is always going to live in the front 20%. This hair is always going to live in the back 80%. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, and just, I'm not going to teach you guys how to cut hair. I just want to show you just a couple things. But we all know that everybody's head shape is different. So the front 20% on this side is not going to match the front 20% on the other side. So one is going to sit further forward, one is going to sit further back. Okay, see that? Everybody has crooked ears. Everybody has one ear lower than the other. If they don't, they're very, very, they're the 1%ers, you know. So for natural fall cutting, this is where, stand up for me. In the salon, and everything that I'm going to do in front of you, I do in the salon. Half my clients I cut standing, half my clients I cut sitting. 2 reasons. I am old and I don't want to stoop anymore because I forget to pump the chair, and I can't stand when a client is in my chair texting. So you get them up out of your chair, they're like, what are you doing? What's going on? What are you doing? Now I become the boss of her. So I literally have gone in the back room and texted my client and said, would you please put down your phone so I can finish your haircut? And then I walk out there laughing. I'm like, no, seriously. So the back 80%, so the reason why, so this has actually got 2 zones. Everything from the bottom of the occipital bone, we all know where the occipital bone is right here. Hers sits nice and low. She has a great hairline, which falls forward on both sides. I've already assessed that. So everything below the occipital is called zone 1. Everything above the occipital is called zone 2. Zone 2 follows around the round of the head. Zone 3 is here. Fringe is a separate zone. I always do that last. So, but I am going to just create, I don't want to cut her short. I just want to show you guys a couple of quick things. So I'm going to give her a nice blunt. She's got some bottom layering going on here. I'm just going to give her a nice blunt cut. And I want to do that in one go. So I want head position, and I want a nice streamline. I always want perceived value. That's why I want my sharpeners in my salon doing a show. You're going to get more clients, and my clients' clients are going to be like, wow, I didn't know that much went into sharpening a scissor. And I say, well, if I've handed them over a $400 pair of scissors, they better be doing it like that. You know, he's over there with a whetstone finishing up, you know. Those are the things that, even though you don't think that you're aware of, that's perceived value. And our sharpeners, they charge $40 for a pair of scissors, and then they charge $45 for a custom texturizer. Not a thinner, but a custom texturizer. Because in my mind, I have taught my people that my texturizers, which are expensive, are more important to them than the scissors. Because it does so many different things besides what just a pair of scissors can do. Does that make sense? So it's okay to, I don't know, do you guys charge the same price for whether it's a thinner or a texturizer or a shear?
That's a can of worms.
You're opening a can of worms?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have a problem because my texturizers are really expensive. So it's $5 more, and they come back and they work perfectly. Because one blade is as sharp as a razor on one of them, and then the other one has the teeth that's sharpened. So it's a razor shear I consider, so I can pull through the hair simultaneously while I'm drawing. So that helps my performance. So everything, so anyway, I'm gonna have, Bonnie's gonna just relax, drop her shoulders, and, no.
I'm gonna put my glasses down.
And I'm just gonna have you just slightly lean your head forward, where it's comfy, where it's not sitting in your chest, but I'm gonna take everything to a center of energy, right here at a 0, take my shears, left foot forward. I am always parallel to my section. Stance is very important in watching a hairdresser. You should know what kind of scissor they're going to want to by how they, if they're up on this, they're probably a white line or a silver line. They're never a gold line. If you have a hairdresser that's cutting like this, that's parallel to the line, parallel to the head, they're probably going to be interested in a silver or a gold line shear because they have been trained in that kind of structure and cutting. Does that make sense? So it's just things to look for, and those are usually your ringleaders. So if you can pick out your ringleaders in the salon, everybody else will follow. So 0 elevation, right, but my thumb is my guide. I'm literally just going to go right over the top of this, take it off in one swoop. And you want to make sure, if you want your length, you can put that in your purse and take it home with you. So now her head's shifted. So I'm just going to drop her down just one more level, open my cape up, and make sure that I have this at a nice 0. And because I have a nice 7-inch shear, I literally can take that off in one go. So now when she raises her head up, I now have a nice soft bevel line. And I didn't have to take 30 sections to do it. That is called compressed or condensed cutting, however you want to whatever terminology you want. So if you have somebody that says to you, you know, I do a lot of condensed, I do a lot of compressed cutting, I need a scissor that'll cut through a big hunk of hair in one go, you know what we're talking about. Same thing on the side. I need you to lean back for me. So you get the center of your head. You guys, I don't have a mirror, so unless she wants to always wear it to a part, is that to the middle? Is that close enough to the middle? You guys like Bonnie enough to let me? So again, I'm dealing with the shoulder here, so left foot forward, but I'm going to keep her standing forward and I'm going to make her move her head for me. So now I've taken my line from here and moved it here. So now all I have to do, I don't have to worry about her shoulder in my way anymore. And I'm going to pull all of that section into one. I've got my 7-inch shear. It's off in one go. Same thing on this side. That's why I love these Jaguar 7s. And if I'm using these in the salon, I promise you a barber or a groomer is going to love this. I know this young lady has got classy canines. Feel of that.
Yeah.
You know, and again, that's in the silver line or the white line. So these are going to cost you about, what do you say, 110?
Well, yeah, that's what they're gonna sell them for. What is it? The price, Gina?
I think it was
They're probably half that.
60? So that's a good price.
Yeah.
But I'm using these in the salon,
Yeah.
comparing them to my $6.5, $800 scissors. But because these are 7 inches, I love them. So I'm still
They're easy to sharpen.
And from you guys just telling me now, I'll be able to say, there's people that I've got sharpeners all across the country that have been sharpening Jaguar scissors for 20 years, and they still are in great shape. So this is so different for me selling to, like when I set up a class for Jaguar, or a scissor class, and I've got 50 people in my room, I promise you 30 of them buy something from me. Because I'm trying to teach them how to raise their perceived value. Because I always say, the higher you raise your haircut, the bitchier your client gets. So I am tapped out at my haircut price in Las Vegas. I got the bitchiest clients in the whole world. I've got a
It's
client.
that way with our sharpening, the higher that we charge for
Oh
our
my gosh.
sharpening, the.
I have a client, her name is Phyllis. And you know, y'all have one. If she never comes back to me,
I don't be here.
if they never call you again, you don't care.
Yes.
Right? But they're the ones that call you, and you know, no matter what, you know.
And you
So,
smile and wave.
can you squeeze me in today? You know, instead of making an appointment, can you just come? But you got like 30 people that you already got to figure out how to steal time from. You know, for me, when they say when you squeeze me in, I would have Bonnie in my chair. Phyllis be like, "No, Bonnie, don't mind Phyllis. I'm just going to go ahead and squeeze her in." And just say, "That's what they think squeeze in means, right?" They don't realize what squeeze in means to us. That means you don't get a lunch. You're gonna be late getting home. You know who's gonna pick up the kids. So what I did is I decided that if I can't get a client to book her appointment and she wants to be squeezed in, I have a haircut price and I have a squeeze in price.
Yes. Yes.
If I want my dry cleaning done in 1 hour, I pay for it. If I want anything done quickly, I pay for it. If I want 1 hour photos, I pay for it. So. And then demographically, I'm in Las Vegas, so my haircuts are $150. If they want in that same day, they're $175. So, but if you want to make an appointment, it's $150. But I still have clients that pay that extra $25, so I know every day that I'm working, I save about 30 to 45 minutes. That if I don't squeeze somebody in, that's my time to eat.
Yep.
You know, otherwise I'm eating over the trash can like every other hairdresser. You know, so. So I've got a nice, everything is done with this. So I'm just going to go back to my,
So we can do that with sharpening. If somebody says, "I've dropped my scissors, I need you today." Well, you're not on my regular route. You're out of my way. You know, an emergency, you know, call. I do have one sharpener that does that up in the mountains, but he has a different, if you're on his route or if he has to make a special trip.
I just think that when somebody thinks that they're more important than everybody else, for me to treat them more important than everybody else, I need to get something out of it too. And I won't be snotty. I'll just say, you know, I can get you in today, sweetheart. Otherwise, I can book you an appointment. I can get you in 7 days. You know, this is the deal. And then when they're in the next day, I'll say, if you make your appointment, because you start calling on Monday in 6 weeks, and Tuesday, and third Wednesday, so you're here every 6 weeks regardless. Just make an appointment. If you have to cancel, you have to cancel. I also, no one can, I don't know if this will work for you guys, but it's just something that I learned over the years and being in Las Vegas. I make them put a credit card down on file. Only, they don't get charged for it. Only that if they no show, no call me, there is a surcharge. I don't charge them the whole, if they're getting a haircut, color, and it's $380 service, I don't do that. But if they no show, no call, they do get charged a $50 surcharge. You know, and if they do that to me twice, they don't get back in with me again. You know, because you're blocking out time, you know, and if nobody's there, I don't know how that works for you guys. But, so I'm just going to go pick up my silver line, and it's the CP4, and it's really a great slide cutting shear. And I like it because for me, I lock my shears close to, I don't slide cut from the back, I slide cut from the front, so that I get a nice, soft slide cut down. So that we get a nice frame, but I still want to leave the weight here, so this has a nice hook to it. All I'm doing is just blending this. Because if you saw, she's already had predetermined bangs, because she's a bang cutter. She likes to cut her bangs. So, you know, except for Jean, the only person that gets to bang you now is me.
So it's gonna be trips to, you know how fast
We're going to work out a deal.
Yeah, we'll work out something.
We'll work out a deal. I know I'm getting fired.
Yeah.
So again, I'm just gonna go through, and again, just slight cut this off, leave the weight line at the bottom. If I need to do any more finish work, I do it when she's dry. And for me, even though this looks long, it's better to let this, for me, to let this dry before I cut this, because 9 times out of 10 when people cut a fringe line, it'll push over to the side and then you'll have a big gap there. And you look like Betty Boop. So, if they want to look like that, great. If you want to get rid of them, you know, I mean, Phyllis, I mean, when baby bangs came out, you guys know baby bangs. When baby bangs came out, that's the really short bangs, baby bangs. You know, they had that baby bang look. When they came out, I gave Phyllis embryo bangs. She still came back. I left her one long one. I said, you can tuck it over here. You can tuck it over here, you know. Just teasing. All right, have Jaguar and with Robanda. First of all, you've got a good company behind you. And Bonika, having it at your fingertips. And then you guys, I'm going to give you guys all my personal card, and I'm actually going to give you the card that the phone goes to my pocket, not the phone that goes to my office. No, because I truly believe, if I'm not loyal to you, you're never going to be loyal to me. So it might take me a few minutes to get back to you, but if you have a situation, you have a question that needs to be answered, or you just want to say, you know, oh, I just had a class with William Watley in the hairdresser. He goes, William Watley, oh my God, I love him. I used to be, you know what? Would you like to talk to him? I promise you, you know, if you send me a text and give me a heads up, I'll answer the phone. If I can help you make a sale, it's my job. You know, so I'm not on 24-hour call, but I'm on at least 12-hour call. But stand up for me, Bonnie. I haven't even completely dried her hair. But I mean, that is just literally in the salon. This is the cut for her that I think is fabulous. Nice, soft, and just totally changes her look. And this was with no product at all. That's just that again. That's with 3 different pairs of scissors. And if I didn't have this, and I know I'm saying scissors, I used to say shears. But I just want you guys to know that without a great sharpener, you wouldn't have great hair cutters. Period. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I just want to welcome you to Robanda and the family of Jaguar, and I want to really thank Jean and everybody for having me. Like I said, I'm going to be here for a while, hanging out. Ain't got nothing going on but the ribs.